What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I want to talk about Terminator Resistance and kind of do like a quick review, which I know sounds dumb because people's been covering this game a lot recently and there are a lot of reviews for it. But since the game's getting more popular and more people are hearing about it, I figured I'd go ahead and make one. With that being said, I'm not going to cover every little thing because there's really no need for it. I'm just going to focus on like the features or what you can expect with the game. I'm sure most of you know about this game or have seen videos on it. This video is kind of for people that haven't heard about it, or they might be wanting to buy it but they don't know what to expect from the game. So the first thing I want to talk about is like graphics and gameplay. The graphics are amazing. The environments look like they ripped them straight from the movies. And there are some copy and paste things, but you don't really notice them, and they don't impact the game in a negative way. And I believe they're using the same engine as Outlast, because you can see right here, it looks like Outlast 2. It feels like it. It's like Outlast 2, but with guns and Terminators. Which is great, because Outlast 2 and Outlast 1's engines are awesome. Throughout the story, you will come across a lot of different characters. Side characters do offer side quests, which is a good thing because that offers more experience, so you can get skill points quicker, which unlocks skills quicker. And the main characters like Ryan, Aaron help progress the story quicker, and there are dialogue options that do affect the story. Not in a huge way, but it does affect the story a bit. And then you have merchants like the quartermaster here, but you won't come across him specifically until you get to the Resistance headquarters. And of course, you can buy and sell pretty much everything. Guns, first aid kits, ammo, crafting supplies, stuff like that. And the game does have romance options, like Jennifer here. And she's one of the first characters you actually come across in the game, along with her little brother. But you won't be able to romance her till later in the game. Same with Baron. Baron is the leader of the Resistance, along with John Connor. And she's actually one of the romance options that people pick the most. But you do have the option of romancing both. But anyways, let's talk about the guns now. We have assault rifle that looks like an M16. You have a shotgun, a Uzi, and a pistol. Then you have the plasma weapons. You have red plasma weapons and violet plasma weapons. The violet plasma weapons are the stronger of the two. And then you have grenades and laser traps. The laser traps you can disarm if you have the skill unlocked. As you can see, earlier in the game I tried to deactivate one, but it says I need explosive skill level 1. And don't do what I did here. If you do, try to be far away or this will happen. Nailed it. And then you have crafting tables. Here you can craft lock picks, first aid kits, ammo, grenades, stuff like that, as long as you have the materials for it. And then we have weapon chips. The weapon chips only work on plasma weapons, and they're basically modifiers to like boost damage or increase fire rate, stuff like that. And the white lines inside these chips, they need to match the next chip. See how that one turned green? That's because they both matched on each end. If they're not matching, the line will turn red. So it's pretty easy to figure out. And the great thing about these chips is they can be removed at any time and swapped out for different ones. They're not permanent. But let's talk about the lock picking because it's pretty simple. It's a lot like Fallout, but not as good. And there is an option to force open the lock, but you're going to have to unlock that through the skill tree. Same with hacking. The hacking is a lot like Frogger. Most people are describing it like that, and it's true. It's pretty simple. There is an option to brute force it, but of course, you need to unlock the skill to do that. The turrets can be a little harder to hack because you need to wait for them to be looking away and run up behind them. So as soon as that laser points to a different direction, just sprint right up behind them, and you should get the prompt that says hack. Once you do, it's the same thing, except you can see these white blocks that make it a little more difficult. If you fail, you do have multiple attempts, and once you get to the middle, you get a checkpoint. So if you fail on the second part, you'll start from the middle. So it's pretty simple. The skill tree is pretty self-explanatory. You have to be a certain level to unlock the skills. I'm actually level 23 right now. This is an old clip, so I have most of them unlocked. But the thing I don't like is by the time you get those last few skills, you're going to be at the end of the game. They should have made it to where you can max out the skill tree earlier in the game so you have benefit of all the skills. But the way it is isn't bad because you don't really need all of them to beat the game. And you'll want to make sure you explore these areas really well because there's a lot of lockers, crates, and containers full of loot. The way you save your game is you find these computers and just activate them. That's it. There are outposts you can clear, not a whole lot, but they are fun to clear and they offer pretty good XP. You'll come across these tractor trailers and shipping containers that have a white X. Just blow open the door with a grenade and they're full of really good loot. The options, you have video, audio, gameplay, like HUD, and then you got the controls. And there are optional bosses you can fight. Some of them you have to fight no matter what. Like this big guy right here, you have to fight this one. But on some of the other levels, there's bosses like him that you can pass up if you want. But I definitely recommend you do fight him because that's good experience that will level you up and get you some skill points so you can get your skill tree completed quickly. And then you have the story itself, which it is actually a pretty good story. Like it keeps a good pace all the way through. And some of the environment just looks amazing, like I said earlier. And then you have giant enemies in the background like this, like Rob the Robot. It's so cool. I mean, come on, that's totally Rob the Robot. And he shoots missiles. It's awesome. And some of these enemies can be really challenging, like the Terminators themselves. It does depend on the difficulty you're playing on. I recommend you play on hard or extreme, because easy and normal are just that. They're too easy. I'm actually playing on hard, and it's my first playthrough, and I've only died a handful of times, and that was because of my own mistakes. So I recommend playing on extreme because that's probably the best experience you can get with this game. And then they have little things like this.
Ah, are you demonstrating your stealth skills, Rivers? Well, I see you.
No, you don't. But yeah, guys, this was just a quick review. I do recommend this game if you're a fan of the movies because you will love it. And if you're not a fan of the movies, I still think you'll find some things enjoyable about it. Maybe not as much as if you were a fan. But if you can get this game on sale, you can't go wrong. I got it for like 15 bucks and I don't regret it at all. And the cool thing is, the same devs that made this made RoboCop Rogue City. So I do recommend you give this a try. But thank you guys for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.